Hello and welcome. This is NTA Tuesday Live, and I'm Cyril Stober. The current inflationary trend and economic indicators further buttress the imperative of rebasing Nigeria's Consumer Price Index, CPI. Now, CPI is a statistical measure that tracks the weighted average of prices of a basket of goods and services consumed by households. It is a widely used indicator of inflation, which measures the rate of change in prices of goods and services over time in an economy. Now, the year-on-year percentage change in the CPI is referred to as the headline inflation rate, which is computed and reported monthly by the National Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria. Now, different indices make up the CPI framework, which includes the Urban and Rural National Index, Headline Index, Food Index, Core Index, all items, less Farm Produce Index, Farm Produce, Goods Index and Services, and Energy Index. Now, tonight, NTA Tuesday Live will focus on Nigeria's rebased Consumer Price Index, the impact on the economy. But let's start off with another matter which will impact Nigeria's business environment. Now, a few days ago, the Minister of Interior, Tunji, expressed security concerns that the visa on arrival policy is no longer effective and should be cancelled. Tonight, we have with us the Director General of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment, Princess Zara Mustafa Audu, to speak to that move by the Interior Minister. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me.
Right. Now, you've been meeting with the Minister of Interior, and this is with the belief that this cancellation might somehow impact the country's efforts at ease of doing business. Now, can you take us through the concerns and clarify just exactly the Minister's stance on visa on arrival initiative?
So we understood over the weekend that there was conversation around the cancellation of the visa on arrival. I had a meeting with the minister earlier on today, and this was further clarified. There are no plans to cancel the visa on arrival, but what he's trying to do is upgrade the system. So basically, at the moment, what you do is you go online if you want to apply for a short stay visa. You go online, you apply, and then it becomes, well, the application gets sent into the immigration department, the office of the CG to be specific, and then it's a paper trail that goes till the CG approves your visa. But what the minister is looking to do is automate the entire process. So if you apply online, within 24 to 48 hours, you would get a response, whether it's positive or negative, and your visa will be sent to your email. This is definitely in line with what PEBEC supports, because we've been pushing for automation of our services, we've been pushing for transparency and efficiency. So obviously this allows us to be able to track the number of applications, how quickly visas are issued. So this is definitely in line with this administration's drive to promote business inflow into Nigeria.
All right, so because the next thing would be, now that you're talking of an upgrade, how would it impact Nigeria's business environment, and how would this help to attract more foreign investment with this?
To be honest with you, I think automation would lead to an easier visa processing process, right? And this in itself should obviously attract more people, because then it takes out all the bottlenecks of having to know somebody in immigration, having to send in applications, having applications just floating with no timeline, no definite timeline as to when you're going to get a response. What we had, yes, people typically were sending in their initial applications online, but like I said, it would get to the office, the immigration office, and then it would become a paper-based system whereby you had to manually move files from one office to the other. So I think this is definitely an improvement. We're not taking it for granted at PEBEC. We will continue to work very, very closely with the immigration and the Office of the Minister of Interior to make sure that this new system is adopted seamlessly, and we're able to benefit, the tangible wins which we're looking for with this, from this new policy. I think there was a bit of miscommunication as to people, I guess the general public, including myself, not fully understanding what the minister meant when he said a cancellation. Because we were very quick to respond. One of the key things that we're pushing during this new President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is for consistency as it regards policies. Recently, we launched the regulatory impact analysis framework, which basically states how our ministries, departments, and MDAs can go about, implementing new reforms or policies. And, because of that, we responded very, very quickly just to check and make sure that this new plans for immigration aligned with those policies, and it was in line with what, some of the policies Mr. President is trying to promote in terms of making Nigeria an attractive business investment haven. And to be honest with you, I don't see anything wrong with what the minister is trying to do. I think this initiative should be supported. I think as stakeholders who are trying to promote investment inflow into Nigeria, we should take it upon ourselves also at PEBEC to educate the general public on what he's trying to do.
Okay, let's get to another, perhaps the core mandate of PEBEC this time around, and take us through recent steps by PEBEC, the government of Nigeria, to improve the business environment, especially in the midst of reports of companies shutting down and relocating. The first thing one would ask is what you're doing to attract more businesses to stay, just as others coming.
Well, to be honest with you, before I started at my role at PEBEC, I used to be an aide to the President on foreign direct investment. And one of the key things we had done at the Office of the Vice President was push the existing Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable. We've had 2 editions of that. We just had the 2nd edition in January, at the end of January. And basically what this does is it brings all our MDAs that affect our business environment together. It brings our existing foreign direct investors together. And, we basically path or help understand their challenges and chart a way forward. So what we're trying to do is, again, make sure that our policies, are enabling businesses. We're also making sure that we're constantly checking in with the existing investors or existing businesses in Nigeria to make sure that, we understand the challenges from their point of view, and this helps us shape the policies moving forward. We've been very, very interactive. This is something that I've not seen done during any other administration. We've tried our best to interact with our businesses at the highest level, being the presidential level. The Vice President himself chaired the first existing Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable. The second one was chaired by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment with the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President. We also had attendance of the CBN Governor. We had about 5 or 6 of our ministers there. We had 3 state governors. So we're taking our investors very, very seriously. It's very important that our policies are not just at the federal level, but they also trickle down into the subnational level, which is why, again, like I said, during the Foreign Direct Investors Roundtable, you had some of our subnationals present there to also pitch and also engage with investors, just to understand what the business climate is like firsthand. I think something to note with this administration is Mr. President has taken charge from the front. He has actively been the biggest driver or biggest campaigner for Nigeria and for trying to attract foreign investment into Nigeria, which is why we also don't take lightly our existing investors or the new investors we're trying to attract. Hence the need for a stable business environment, right? Which is PEBEC's, one of PEBEC's core mandates is to help, ensure that there's some level of stability as it regards to our policies. Our policies are business friendly, our services are efficient, there's a lot of transparency amongst agencies, etc. Another thing I wanted to touch on, because one of the key reasons why I came here was to discuss the visa on arrival. I have absolute trust in the Minister of Interior on his ability to, fulfill his promises, simply because the track records are there. He did manage to clear the backlog of over 200 passport applications that were pending before he took office. He was able to automate the passport renewal service So now you don't need to go into the passport office physically, but you can do most of it online and then just go at the very tail end to capture, and then your passport is out in a few days. He also facilitated the electronic gates at the airports. So I think this is just another step in the direction of improving our immigration services. And I think this should be embraced wholeheartedly. I want to also, more importantly, assure our foreign community that we will continue to watch this matter very closely. And we will continue to be responsive, not just to the foreign international businesses in Nigeria, but also local businesses. PEBEC is positioned to help, help ensure that our business environment is conducive for businesses.
It's a good thing you talk about the local business interests as well, because as they say, if local businesses are thriving, that itself is enough endorsement and an attraction for foreigners to come in. So what new incentives for the local business community?
Well, I know for a fact that very recently the Federal Executive Council approved some additional funds for the Bank of Industry, to support the Bank of Industry to be able to support our local businesses in Nigeria. I know within the renewable energy sector there have been many presidential policies that have been passed to enable the businesses within that sector thrive, and concessions as it regards to importation of parts for different models of renewable energy, whether it's within the transportation section or even within the power sector, so I know that there are a lot of incentives locally right now for our businesses. I know Smeden is going very aggressively with trying to help our MSMEs to grow. So there are 1,000,001 different opportunities out there. The government has different schemes going on with different agencies. It's just for our local businesses to plug into it. Another thing that is very interesting that our at the presidential level has been done recently is, I know during the trip when the vice president went to Sweden, the trip when the president went to France, we were also able to take our local indigenous businesses and plug them into foreign businesses on the other end to try and see how we could stimulate growth. So the government is being very proactive in pushing our businesses and also trying to stabilize the economy and the business climate generally to enable businesses to flourish.
Well, back to the visa on arrival policy. Yes, you're upgrading and everything's going to get automated. Again, as we say, you think this is all foolproof? What might be some challenges you might envisage, or it's just good all through?
So I wouldn't say it will be all smooth, but what I would say is we have to continuously try as a country to improve. And for me, I go based on facts and figures. I would just ask off the top of my head, is our visa passport renewal service, has it improved since before this administration? I would say yes. I think most people would agree that yes, it's easier for us to get new passports or to renew our passports now. Is the do we have to go online? Yes, that's true. So that's another tick right there. So these are actual, I think for this particular ministry, to be fair, he has a proven track record of delivering on his promises. So I would say let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's be as supportive as possible in pushing this, because this is in the best interest of Nigeria and Nigerians. And I'll be honest with you, if we can simplify as well as secure our borders, because we're not trying to open up Nigeria to, all manners of people, but I mean for the right kind of people who are coming in for investments, who are coming in for tourism, who are coming in for all the positive things that we would like to attract as a country. If we can make it as easy as possible for people to come into Nigeria, I think that would definitely be a plus. I mean, we saw how the new trend with December was, with loads of people coming in for tourism, coming in for social activities. For me, I think anything that promotes Nigeria, adds value, is definitely a plus. That was great for businesses, especially in Lagos. We're looking to see how, hopefully before December, we can expand this to other parts of Nigeria that also have very interesting tourism spots and locations. So definitely, with this new visa, it's actually an electronic visa, which it's always been. It's just the difference was you would come to our borders physically and have like a sticker put on. And the minister made a very good argument for that. The cost of printing those stickers, we can save that money by sending emails. When you come, it's scanned, and yes, your visa is there, and you get a stamp and you come in. I think it's a more efficient way of processing visas, and I am absolutely in support of this new policy. It's not really a new policy. I look at it as like an upgrade of policies. Another thing that I want to re-emphasize is that we feel that Nigeria has some very great policies, and our problem is implementation. So at PEBEC, we won't really be supporting new policies, but we would be supporting an improvement on existing policies. Reason being, we've had enough of instability, new things, everybody coming with new ideas, everybody coming with, this is the way I want to do it. But we need to remember that government is continuous. Regardless of administration, we should do things that can outlive us and our successors can carry on, right? So it's important that we are also prepared to carry on policies and, reforms that had been that predate our coming into office, because government is continuous. It's not a personal business. It shouldn't be about our personal, yes, of course, when you come into office, you have your own style of doing things, and your style should be to improve on existing systems, but not necessarily to scrap and try and always begin something new. So we're going to be pushing for continuation as much as possible, and we're going to be pushing for improvement on existing policies, and of course, automation, because we really believe automation will make our systems more efficient. Transparency will get rid of all the corruption and all the other extra bottlenecks involved in, dealing with government as a whole.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for now, and we hope we'll ask you to come again some other time to speak in greater detail on the activities of PEBEC. We'd like to have you come and
we would, honestly, we look forward to coming when we have a lot more to show. Like I said, I've only been in office since end of January, so it's been a short period of time, and I don't want to be in a hurry to be talking. I would rather come back when I have enough to show.
Yeah, but you were presidential aide before this.
Yes, and I do have a lot to show for that short period of time. So, yes, absolutely. Right.
All right, thank you so very much. Princess Zara Mustafa Audu, Director General, Presidential Enabling Business Environment. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Right.
Yes.